This video will show you why desire is separating you from what you want to manifest, and I'm going to share with you how to transcend it so that you're really able to get what you want. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a new level paradigm for understanding the power of desire and why desire actually doesn't get us the results that we want. Now, the main idea behind this is understanding intention. Now, intention is a powerful thing, and I've used this analogy before. But if I have a desire right now to lift my arm up, I can have all the desire in the world, but until I actually make it an intention and I move my arm up, nothing actually happens. Now, there are different level paradigms when it comes to understanding consciousness. And the different level paradigms will depend on the perspective that we have and from where we currently are. Now, in general, there is a paradigm that is more in the survival mode. Survival mode is where we just simply need something to happen because we feel like our desire or our survival is dependent to it. Then we get to a place to where we take action for what we want to create in our life, and the action can be powerful and we can learn a lot from it. I definitely have, over the last 6 months to a year, learned a lot about taking action and how that influences what I experience. But beyond action, there's a level to where we realize that then there's a level of being, and in the level of being, when we are able to really absorb into the moment more, there's more of a level of awareness. There's also a feeling that comes with it. Now, this higher level paradigm includes understanding that desire is actually blocking the process. Now, understand that in the present moment, right now, if we desire something, what we are telling ourselves is that we currently don't actually have it. The desire that we have is reaffirming that it is not currently in our reality. Because if we had it, we wouldn't actually desire it. If you desired to have peanut butter, you might desire it, but then once you actually had it and you were eating it, you wouldn't desire it anymore. Now, the idea behind this comes with understanding that what we must learn to do is to embody the feelings that we want and to know first off that we are already whole and complete whether we have what we want or not. When we come from this perspective and we realize that our glass is already full, that's where a lot of the power comes. That's where we start to realize that anything that we desire in our life won't actually make us happier. And not only will it not make us happier, but in the actual desiring of it itself, it's reaffirming that it's not currently here. So in a lot of law of attraction type material you might see, they talk about desire. Even one of my favorite books of all time is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and he talks about having a white hot desire, like a burning desire for what you want. Now, under the paradigm of taking action, that can be a powerful thing because you are using desire to take action. You are using desire to get myself to make the intention to lift my arm. Desire kind of fuels it in a way. However, what we can learn to do is to create from a higher level paradigm, a paradigm full of the awareness that I'm talking about, and that when we create from that paradigm, amazing things begin to happen because we take out the step of having to hammer it in and get where we aren't already. Now, I'm not saying that taking action isn't necessary. I'm saying taking action is necessary, but you take action from a place of you are already whole and complete. You take action from a place of intention rather than desire. That's a big breakthrough that I recently had. I have been so focused on learning and doing what I'm doing with creating videos, with creating a successful business, that I found I was so focused on trying to get somewhere faster than I had to. I had all these really big ambitious goals, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I still have great goals. I still have pretty big goals. But the energy from which it comes from now is very different. I still am disciplined, but I was almost resistant with my discipline. I was doing so many things, certain breathing techniques every day, certain type of meditations, and certain type of eating a very, very clean, and I still eat clean, but there's just not as many rules there anymore. I'm realizing it's more about my state of being and how I feel that's more important than anything else. So instead of focusing on desire and increasing the desire, because when you increase the desire, you're reaffirming that you don't already have it, increase your state of being. How do you feel? You see, I had all these rules that before I go to bed every day, I had to do this Wim Hof technique every day. So for me to go to bed at night, it took me like an hour just to do my nightly routine. And while I still do parts of those, I realized there's certain parts that I just didn't enjoy as much. And I didn't feel like, now I feel like I don't have to do them all the time in order to have a good night's rest. And because of that, I'm enjoying myself more. Because I'm not giving myself as many rules in my life, you have to do X, Y, and Z, I'm starting to enjoy the process, and guess what? Things are starting to align. Things are starting to allow to happen because I am not forcing all of these things to happen in my life. That was a major breakthrough I had, is understanding there's different levels of paradigms when it comes to manifestation. There are paradigms that we can learn to transcend by having new levels of self-awareness and by really having new levels of perspectives in general. Like, what level paradigm are we coming from? You know, I've shared that power versus force chart before, which shows the different levels of consciousness. Maybe I'll flash it up right here. And what I do is I show, or you know, what Dr. Hawkins shows with this chart is that there's different emotions for different vibrational states of consciousness. And that there's a certain level in here where it's like willingness, where there's more of desire, there's more of this longing to accomplish something. But then there's a higher level, and that higher level may be love. Maybe love, and there was a breakthrough I had when I was recently in Costa Rica, and I've talked about this in one or two other videos, so bear with me if you've already seen me talk about it before. But I had this perspective, and I had this feeling of unconditional love that I was able to feel inside my heart for a good couple hours. And it was overwhelming, mainly because my body probably wasn't used to that level of unconditional love. Now, don't get me wrong, I feel good a majority of the time, just because I treat my body right, I meditate and stuff like that. And I thought that I was like at an 8, right? I thought that I was at 8 out of 10 all the time. And I had this experience that was a 15 out of 10. It was just so much unconditional love. And what I realized in that moment was that unconditional love is acceptance, accepting the present moment. That when you accept the present moment, you don't really desire anything other than what it is, because everything is perfect. You see things almost through the eyes of Source. And that's something I realized, because then I would look around and I just saw everything as perfect. I saw everything with that unconditional love. And what happened from that point of view is it increased my state of being tenfold. And I felt like anything that I wanted to accomplish, I could. And if I integrated that level of being, that state of mind, everything in my life would change. Because I'm coming at it from a higher level paradigm. And I'm able to see it from more of that point of view, and accepting the moment the way that it is then allows it to transform into something else. But if I'm in the present moment and I desire something that's other than the present moment, then I'm reaffirming some type of resistance that's saying that I am not already there. But that's something that we can learn to transcend by bringing it back to the core of who we are. You see, I believe that our natural state of being is feeling that unconditional love. Now that sounds ridiculous, right? Because it's like, obviously not, because it's so hard to feel that. But really, we've just learned and been conditioned that that's not who we are. We grow up believing, watching movies, conditioned by the news, conditioned by peers, conditioned by our environment, thinking that that is not who we are, and that those states of love are conditional. We only get into those when we're in a very deep relationship with someone, and only for a certain amount of time, because that doesn't last. That's the perspective. And what we can learn how to do is how to transcend that and to reintegrate with who we are, to remember that that is our natural state of being. Why would I say that unconditional love is our natural state of being? Because from a higher level paradigm, we are all connected. Now this is, maybe I'm getting too far into this video for the topic that it is, but everything that you see in life is connected. There is a connection between all of us. So when we put out anything, that comes back to us because we're all connected. And with that, having that level of perspective that we can feel and have unconditional love for our surroundings and for unconditional acceptance for the present moment, that's when everything really begins to change, because then you automatically transform your state of being, and then you start to create from a much more powerful place. So that's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to accept the moment for what it is. That if you want more, to then bring it back to your center, and then to have an intention to do certain things, but don't come from the energy of lack. Don't come from the energy that you need something to complete you more. Have it more from the perspective that you are already whole and complete. And I promise you that as you do this, you'll start to transcend to a higher level of awareness, and you'll start to see that it can be much easier than you priorly thought. That's when everything will really begin to change for you. Now, another part of this process is understanding the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is running over 90% of our life experience. That if we learn how to change our self-image, that everything can begin to change, because everything stems from that. So what I've done is I've created a free MP3 guided meditation that you can listen to that can totally transform the way that you see yourself, and it uses NLP, which is called neuro-linguistic programming, in order to change your subconscious mind. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days straight, and then after that you'll find that you feel like a totally different person, you see yourself in a completely new light, and that then everything begins to change. So you can download that in the description box, it'll be in the top, and then you can use that every day, and after 21 days I think you'll see that so much changes for you. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification gear so that you can see the daily videos that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit that in order to see the daily vids. And other than that, as always, I'll see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.